everyone, I just thought I'd show you how our morning is going. We're parked up at the 5 Mile Bay campsite just outside of Taupo, right on the shores of the lake, and this is the lovely view that we woke up to. The lake is just beautiful this morning. It's clouding over a bit now, but just over there before you could see very clearly the lovely snow-capped tops of Mount Ruapehu. That was just gorgeous this morning, just like the rest of the lake.
Hi guys, so I'll show you our solar setup, how we decided on what we needed, putting it in, and how it is going so far. So we have 2 large solar panels on our roof, about here and here. So that was to keep the weight back from the axles, which sit about here. And there's plenty of room for us to extend if we ever need to, but at the stage there's no way we need any more power. So from the panels, they tie into one line and come down through the roof behind our pantry and down into the bottom of it where all the components live. So if you come closer, it lives under this casing to protect from anything that falls out of the food baskets. So these lines it comes down into and feeds straight into the charge controller. This charge controller is suited up to 40 amps. So it comes in, fused, then from the charge controller, which decides what the current is and tries to boost as much current out of what you get from the panels, comes out and to the battery to charge the battery, and then from the battery everything goes out via a 1000-watt inverter, and in between we've put in a shunt which acts as like the middleman between all of these components to let us know what our current coming in and current going out is. The charge controller will only do so much in terms of measuring the current going in or out. This actually gives us a reading of what is our level in terms of power on a daily basis. So our battery it's a big one. It's about 70 kilos. It's called the Nomad Ultra, and it's 335 amp hours, and this is the Nomad Mobile 1000-watt inverter. So this is going to power pretty much anything that requires a draw up to 1000 watts. So that's definitely our freezer, lighting, any other appliances really. It's not going to be able to manage any high draw appliances like jugs, toasters, microwaves, vacuums. So this does it fine. And if you go up to 1000 watt, it just means that with high draw startup products like a fridge or a freezer, it can allow the current to go up to high levels to begin with, then drop back down. So the reason why we chose this battery is because with 335 amp hours, if you work on about 70% an allowance that you can bite into, it was going to be enough to pretty much power the things overnight. If we focused on having the battery to power the things that we need to overnight, mainly the freezer and the lighting, then the solar panels do the rest as soon as daybreak kicks in. So as soon as the sun comes up, it starts charging the battery straight away, and by lunchtime it's completely full. So the mantra that some people go by, that more panels is better than more battery, is definitely good in my opinion, and I'd recommend it because batteries are large and expensive. As long as you get a good one, so ours is a good sized one, and try and reduce having 2 or 3 smaller batteries and join them up, because it's just more room, more hassle, more cords. So if you get one big battery and get more than enough panels to sort it out, that means through the day it's charged up straight away, and then you've got excess power that you can use straight out of the panels through your appliances and outlets. So from that shunt it comes to this battery monitor here, and what that does is shows us that the battery's at 100%. It shows that the battery's voltage is sitting at 14.5 volts, so throughout the day it'll boost it all the way up. Oh, it just lost signal. But it boosts it all the way up to 14 volts. 14.6 I think is the highest it gets to, and then it puts it back down to a slow charge. So overnight it will drop down to about 12.6, 12.5 volts is the resting battery voltage. But the in current at the minute is 7.9 amps. So depending when the clouds move away from the sun, it can boost all the way up to 20, and in very dark days it'll stay around the low digits. So in the morning we usually see this sitting between 90 or 85%, and remember we've got about 70% to work with, so it's never got below that, even with a few rainy days. So we've got plenty of power to use. So just an overview of what we've got. We've got the two panels here on the roof, two 260 watt ones giving us 520 watts of power, and they come down and tie into the charge controller, which distributes the power evenly and boosts it efficiently to the battery. So even if you've got low rated solar panels that don't have a very high output, this will get as much output from the panels as it can and converts it to the battery. There's a fuse between the panels and the charge controller, a fuse between the charge controller and battery, and a fuse between the battery and inverter. All the negative connections from charge controller onwards go directly to the shunt, the inverter to shunt, charge controller to shunt, and battery to the other side of the shunt. And then this comes up to the battery monitor that I showed you, the screen that shows the percentage. And then the last thing that comes out of the battery is a auxiliary line, which is a dedicated 12 volt one that powers the water pump, which is under our sink, and comes through and does the ignition for our gas oven. From there, the 12 volt system, once it goes into the inverter, is converted to 240 volts. And what we've done is from there, we've got heavy cable which takes it under the Caravan, up the other side, and plugs it into our main socket. So it comes out the side and up next to our colour font and plugs straight into the mains there. And then on the other side is our mains board. So we've got the main power here. This was for a cylinder which we've taken out, but now that's just an outlet. Then we've got the lights, the outlets for the different sides of the Caravan essentially. So it was a lot easier to set up than I originally thought it would be. It seems quite daunting at first, but you don't need that much skill or anything with electrical stuff. Just really be safety aware. It is a bit time consuming trying to plan it all out, but once you've got an idea of what appliances you need, call up places that supply solar, talk to them. They're more than willing to give you tips or advice, which was quite helpful with me. But always try and shop around or call around for advice or products, because it can really change between two places. One place told me that the system I was putting in was going to be impossible to power a fridge or a freezer or any high draw appliances, but as you can see, it's going really good and it was really easy to do because other businesses assured me that it was possible. So in saying that, if you've got any questions with our system or any system that you're putting in that I might be able to help with in any way, let us know by putting in a question in the comments. But as far as our system is at the minute we definitely don't need any more power. We're not using as much power as we thought we would, and which is a good thing. It just means that we've got more power to burn, really. But we've got room for another panel if we want to add more appliances. But so far in our travels, we don't think that's needed.